Welcome back, or hello. I decided to start this video with a real quick chat about the pavers on dry porous cement. I did get a couple of people that asked me some questions about it. The biggest question that I had was how I got the cement underneath wet. The cement is porous. Pavers are made out of cement. It's also porous. So with a regular dry pour, you mist it a couple of times to make a little crust on the top, and then you saturate it a number of times to get it to soak all the way down and through. With this, I didn't mist it. I got it a little wet so that the water would go in between the cracks and start setting up the cement underneath. After I did that a couple of times, I soaked it just good enough that it was going to soak all the way through, which means I got a pretty good standing water on top of it. And I did that a whole bunch of times, and then after that, when it rains, it's going to do it again. You've already got the strength of the paver sitting on top of it. Even before I wet it down, it already felt firm to stand on top of. When I did it, I put the pavers in place. I used a rubber mallet to pound them down in. That causes the cement powder to work its way up into the pavers. So what you end up with is a very solid connection. It holds the pavers in place, and it creates a solid surface for them to sit on. They don't move around. Weeds can't go through it, that kind of thing. And now every time that it rains, it's soaking down through it. So if there was any dry spots left, they're automatically getting filled just by the rain falling on it. So now, off to what I'm currently working on. Well, it's morning here, so I'm going to say good morning. I picked up this trailer last fall, very inexpensively. It's got the sprayer tank, the pump, and the hose, and I had to put a sprayer head from a different sprayer on there because the one on here was junk. Leaked a lot, but it's got the electrical and everything. I just don't want to use it on the trailer. I want to take and mount it right on the back of my little ATV to be able to use it more effectively than trying to pull a trailer around. So today I am going to pull off all the wheels, and it's already on a frame. I'm going to see what it's going to take to get the frame mounted onto the back of the wheeler. Probably take some cutting, some welding, that kind of thing. I want something that comes on and off very easily. Okay, so step one, the easy one. This is the front axle. It's where it turns. So one nut will pull it off of the stud that it rotates on, and then all I have to do is clip a wire tie, take the hose off of that, and unwrap the wires, and it should all come off as one unit. I do want to save it since it is a manufactured trailer. I want to save it because it came with the tank. It's designed for it. So, you know, if I ever decide I want to change it back, I can. Apparently that washer is rather stuck on there. See if it rotates off. See, it thinks it's nuts. That washer will definitely get replaced if this ever gets put back together again. Now, we got this tie wrap right here. Disconnect that. Put that in my garbage pile. Okay, now, there we go. Nice and easy, just the way we like it. Now, the stud is staying on there. I don't care about that washer for right now. I'm going to throw that nut back on there just in case I do decide to throw it back together at some point. There we go. Of course, it'll be fairly stripped by then, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Cheap trailer. And unwrap the wires. And we're loose. Okay, look. More stuff to store. Okay. And for the back wheels, all I'm going to do is pull the wheels off. I don't think the axles will get in the way too much. We'll find out. And who knows, might end up coming up with a project to use these wheels for, so they are very standard. You can get them anywhere. But they do have bearings in them. Good wheels. Alright. Okay, so the next step is to mount the tank on the back of the quad. It would be very easy for me, if I wanted to just set that on there, use a couple of straps. I could hold it in place. It'd work just fine. But I want something that I can take on and off easily, since I don't only want to use the quad for using the spray tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manufacture some brackets that are going to hook on to the tank and hold it in place. Well, after some not so excessive welding, more cutting, this is the bracket. You can see tips on to lock in. Okay, so when I've got the tank mounted to that, I'll just be able to just go like that and it'll sit in place. I've got the other side built also. Does not include the bar coming back. That's the step that I'm doing now. And I've checked my lengths and made sure that the frame that the sprayer sits on, the tank sits on, will fit here and here. And that keeps it pretty level. So, off to the next step. Okay, well, alrighty then. That step done. This is all welded up now, so that just sits in there very nicely. This is leveled to where the frame is going to sit on the front and the back, so that it sits nice and square. The cross brace that I'm going to weld in next is going to keep these straight, so it's easy to get them on and off, and then I'll take and mount the frame that the tank sits on to these two brackets. And just like that, I got a tank all mounted up on the back. It sits pretty level, which is great. Leans ever so slightly to the left, which is where the drain is, so it's towards this side. So the wires are just sitting up here right now. When I actually need to use it, still at least a month or two away, I'll take the wires, I'll run directly to the battery. I'll have a plug that comes out here, might mount it on the back of the quad, might not, I don't know yet. So that way when I want to use the sprayer, I can just plug it in. I've got power. The wand sits in clips on the back of the tank. It lifts in and out very easily. Just tilt it forward, slide it back, it drops right down. Reverse to put it back in. Helps being able to see where the hooks are. You can see once it's full or full enough, it'll put the back end down some, but I don't expect to have more than maybe 80 pounds in it, and that's almost all my weight, so that's probably 140 or so pounds. It doesn't move, it's nice and rock solid. So this should work really good for spraying around here, and if I know of anybody that's looking for larger areas to get sprayed down, I could use it for that too. I do need to replace the pump. It was junk when I got it. I bought this very inexpensively, and I knew that I was going to do something with it, I just didn't know what. This is what I ended up doing. So, who knows? Maybe I'll go out and spray a couple of yards with it. Maybe I won't. As you can tell, everything around here is kind of a work in progress at the moment, but it's all coming together. The two posts that you see back here for the sun sail that go over the seating area, what I call the living room. And then we have the dining area over here. That's a triple wide umbrella. It's very nice. Got it very inexpensively at Big Lots. It's held up so far. Of course, you don't want to use anything in the kind of winds that we get around here sometimes. So with this getting started in a few weeks, I'll probably have this on video. I'll continue to put up a little bit of stuff here and there about the drive over on the other side. When I start on the shed over here, I'll start adding that in. And I have a young lady that is turning a garage, a small garage, into kind of a tiny home. So I do have a little bit with her. I'm going to get a little bit more, and then I'll put up a small episode of what it is that she's doing, and then we'll keep up with updates. If you're in the area, you have something that you're doing, it has anything to do with building anything, feel free to get a hold of me. I would love to film you and put you on the channel. As always, like, comment, subscribe, just like everybody always says. Hopefully we'll be able to make this into something.